Andrew Larson's Film Review channel, back again with 2 reviews. Neither of these movies are that great, but one is a lot worse than the other one. The first one is the worst one, and it's Vengeance. I just saw Vengeance. A week ago I saw Nope. And I forgot to review that, so I'm reviewing them both right now. Both movies are made by people from the TV. BJ Novak made Vengeance. He's Ryan from The Office. And then there's Nope is the third film from Jordan Peele, and I never seen the other movies. I never seen Get Out or Us. I just wasn't watching movies when those came out. First, we'll talk about Vengeance from Ryan from The Office. And I don't know if BJ Novak has ever made another movie. Not one that I've seen. He's in Inglourious Basterds, which is a good movie. But this is not a good movie. It's one of the worst movies ever. It's horrible. I never even heard of this movie until I watched Nope. I accidentally came too early. I had to watch a couple trailers, and one of the trailers that played was for this piece of fucking shit, Vengeance. And I was like, well, that looks like a silly movie. I'll watch that. And it's not silly. It's not silly. It's serious. It's really pretentious. This is like if Ryan from The Office was forced to make a movie. Forced at gunpoint. Because there's no passion, no sense. It's all just so contrived. It's one of the most contrived things I've ever seen. Spoiler free review, never watch it. It's awful. Spoiler review, this movie made no sense. It was about a guy, BJ Novak. It shows his name like 5 times, like The Room style, like Tommy Wiseau. Just shows BJ Novak's name like 10 times during the opening credits. He's like a podcaster, so it's like Tusk, like Kevin Smith's Tusk, by a comedy of errors. He gets roped into helping the brother of some girl he hooked up with get revenge on her supposed murder. It's like a Dear Evan Hansen style plot where the family thinks that BJ Novak was like her close boyfriend, but he was just some guy she hooked up with, but he's going along with it for his podcast. The joke would be that BJ Novak's character is trying to make this grand statement about America. His character says, he's like, I'm making a grand statement about America with this podcast. But the movie itself is trying to make a grand statement about America. It's set in Texas. It's like constantly, the term conspiracy theories is said like 100 times throughout the movie. Ashton Kutcher is the killer, and there's a million plot holes. None of it makes any sense. I laughed, I think, 3 times in the movie. I didn't laugh out loud, but I was like, blah, blah. But I didn't like the movie at all, and it was horrible. The next movie, Nope. Much better movie, but still not a great movie. I had some problems with this movie. This movie, spoiler-free review, it was a lot like Super 8. Probably no one even knows what I'm talking about. Like 15 years ago, or something, 15 years ago, there was this movie. And it was made by the guy who made Lost. The guy who made the Star Trek reboot. And the guy who made Mission Impossible 3. J.J. Abrams. The guy who made Star Wars. And so the movie Super 8. I forgot what it was called just now. Super 8. And it was about something about kids trying to film an alien. That's what this movie is. This is another movie about people trying to film an alien. And it's really like Spielbergian, like Super 8 was. And it's really like sentimental and weird. Has a horrible alien. Boring alien like Super 8 does. Spoiler review. Back in, the early 2000s, Dave Chappelle got his own show on Comedy Central. And it was a huge hit. 2 seasons in, Dave Chappelle gets offered $1 billion by Comedy Central to make a special where he wears a dress. A special where he's dressed up as a woman. And Dave Chappelle says, well, I don't dress up as a woman in my comedy. And so he turned down $1 billion. And he got ostracized from the film industry because he went on Oprah. Oprah was like, why'd you choose not to wear a dress? Kind of transphobic. And Dave Chappelle was like, bitch, I've been to Africa. The world was divided in two. There were people who were like, Dave Chappelle is a hero because he stood up for his beliefs, and his comedy is still funny because it's always funny to hear people say the N-word. And other people were like, he's transphobic. So, Comedy Central had a problem because they had $1 billion on the line, and they had no black man to wear a dress. Enter Jordan Peele. 20 years later, Jordan Peele's making horror movies. It's about a black cowboy, his black cowboy sister, and they're hunting down an alien. And they're at war. It's like the Wild West. They're having a territory war with an Asian man. A lot of the movie, you're like, the Asian man is the alien. He's the one who's doing it. Because there's like an alien spaceship. It kills the black cowboy's father. And this is all awesome stuff. And it's like the black cowboy is like realizing that there's an alien, and it's all really intense. It's like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, really super intense. And it's this crazy, just the generic circular UFO. Looks like just the head of a mushroom, you know? Just round and circular. And this is all good and great. And then there's a twist where it turns out that the alien is the UFO. And that's when the whole movie started going downhill. And I really hated it. Because why would an alien look like a giant mushroom? It's a very M. Night Shyamalan style movie. So like, you remember in Signs that the aliens hated water. And this, the aliens, they don't like not being looked in the eye. The aliens just get so offended that they leave. Also had this really cool stuff with like a evil monkey. The monkey's CGI, but it still looks pretty cool. It's a pretty good part of the movie. I really thought the movie was pretty good as a whole. But really the one thing I didn't like about the movie was that the alien was just a big mushroom. And it transformed at the end into something different. It looked even stupider. It looked like someone spit in a fucking glass of water.